This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Recording in progress.
Okay, good morning, friends. How are you? So we have a lot of good questions on the Siman. I feel like it would be kedai to bring in the right authority, maybe to have a question and answer about the topic of mitzvot strichas kavana. By the way, Rabbi Elliot, maybe he'll be on in a minute, sent me a very good shaila also. We're talking about saying Amen at the end of Havoicha b'Amay Sobi Ahava. And we said really the Mishna Berura comes out, and all the Achronim Paskin like the Rama, that really you should say Amen, but to avoid the issue entirely, you try to end off together with the Chazan. But if you didn't, of course you should say Amen. And we pointed out then a situation where, let's say you already said the Shema before the davening, then l'chayra you need to not finish up with the Chazan. You should say the bracha regularly and answer Amen. So Elliot pointed out, then what about by Marav? So you say by Marav, usually you don't say Shema before. Yeah, but what about Friday night where you have to repeat the Shema later because you're not saying it bizmanoi? Then l'chayra you should dafka answer Amen because it's not a birchas hamitzvah. V'loi ro'inu that people are makbid dafka to answer Amen by Marav. Unless this becomes very confusing to people to start cheshboning, it's not so pasha to make these cheshbonos. Even I'm trying to think, well, on a regular Friday night, then you should say it first to answer Amen. On a Matzah Shabbos, it's a Berachas HaMitzvah, then you should go ahead. It's a little bit complex. But, l'char, that's what it would come out. Okay, Sif Beis. Siman Samach Aleph Sif Beis. Asher Anoichi Mitzavacha Hayom. By the way, my friend Isaac Yastolovsky pointed out that the Chida brings from the Radvaz that, do you remember many times we spoke about the Kabbalistic Shem Taf Chaf Hey? Yeah, and Taf Chaf Hey kills the enemies, right? For example, Mehera b'seferes uzecha. Mehera b'seferes uzecha. Soifei tevois hey taf chaf hey. Yeah, that's one. Or azavta darshecha Hashem. There are many examples of taf chaf hey. Right? We once gave a shir on it, but another example of taf chaf hey. V'ahavta eis Hashem. You hear that? So the Chida says that's pshat. They said to Rabbi Akiva, Ad kan? Why are you stopping v'ayachad? Just say v'yahavta is Hashem and you'll kill your enemies. That's pshat ad kan. Why are you stopping there? You should say v'yahavta is Hashem. And Rabbi Akiva says, my whole life I wanted to give up my life be'achad. So I can't continue. I'm not going to give up the opportunity. You're right, I could kill them. I'm not going to lose this opportunity. Ayam v'naira. Okay. Siman Sif Beis. Asher anoichi mitzavacha hayom. Hainu loymar b'chol yom yiyu be'inecha kechadashim. That which I command you today, that is to say, every day it should be like it's new in your eyes. V'loi k'mi shekvar shama oisei harbe pa'amim. Not like someone who already heard it many times. She'enoi chaviv etzlai. That it's not dear to him. Now, why is the Mechaber bringing down drashas over here? It's very interesting. Let's see the Mishna Berura Sivkat and Daled. Bereses Vazia. This is Vazia. This is going back Vazia. This is going back in Sif Aleph. Kasavat Tor b'Shem Rav Amram. L'shavye inish l'kriyashma b'chozman dekarle kifroit gema chadasha. A person should make kriyashma every time that he reads it, like a new proclamation. Huksav tzivei hamelch b'nei medinasai. That's the writing of the king to the inhabitants. V'yachshav b'libo, he should think, ilo melech basar v'dam sholech proit gema chadasha. If a king of flesh and blood issued a new statement, here's a good analogy. Imagine if the Mayetzes came out with a new Kol Koirei. Yeah? Oh, what'd they say, Or if the President of the United States issued a new statement about Israel. Or even, there's a new headline in the news. have to read it. What is it? How they spin it this time? So it would be exciting to you. So you could ask, this Kal V'chomer seems to have a little pircha over here. You know what the pircha is? That if it was the king, it would have been a new proclamation. But I said Shema yesterday, and I said it the day before. So what's the answer to that? Let's see. Because of Aprisha, the reason it compares it to the proclamation of the king, you should not read it grabbing it uvamrutza quickly, uvairbav hadvarim, ela b'miton, but patiently, mila b'mila, uvahefsik bein davar l'davar, ka'adam ha'karei tzivei hamelach, like someone who reads the tzivah of the king, shekarei b'miton gadol, that he reads it with great patience, called tzivoi b'fnei atzmai, every command by itself, lahavinoi al tchunasi, to understand it properly, kach yikor kriyas Shema, called tzivoi v'tzivoi oynesh v'oynesh, every command, every punishment, taniska bar yasim al libai lahavinoi, you should pay attention to understand it, kihu tzivoi hamelech hagadol baruch hu. By the way, now we understand why the mechaber is doiresh asher anoichi mitzavcha hayom. It's sort of a continuation of Seif Aleph. Seif Aleph says you should say Shema be'ema b'yer b'reses v'ziyah. The question is, why should I say Shema be'ema b'yer b'reses v'ziyah? It's like a new proclamation of the king. Therefore, the mechaber explains, asher anoichi mitzavcha hayom v'chol yom yiu be'einecha kechadashim. Okay. Now, Sif katan hey atzlei v'katzvim begadim she'al achas kam v'kam tzach shiur lahavin b'chol pam ha'shomer. Each time you say, you should try to understand what you're saying. V'loy l'krois b'merutza, and not to read it hastily. K'fi ha'herga v'rak latzos yedei kriya. You should not read it hastily as a regilos, only to be yotzei reading it, but to try to understand it. Okay, so now we come to another important aspect of Shema. If you remember in the Tefillah show, when we were learning Mizmar L'Saida, we learned from Rabbi Avram Falaji, quoted in Magal HaMukas, that Mizmar L'Saida encapsulates the entire Tefillah. Mizmar L'Saida, Hariu L'Hashem Kol Ha'aretz V'Shetevas Halacha. Before you start to daven, you learn Halacha. Bayu L'Fanav Bernana. You come before Hashem, Ivdu es Hashem b'simcha. Serve Hashem with joy, that's karbanos. Bayu l'fana bernana is psuke de zimra. De'u, you should know. Ki Hashem hu aleikim, that's Kriya Shema, where you have the big dalet and the big ayin. De'u. Hu asanu v'lay anachnu. Amoy v'tzoyin marisai. So Amoy v'tzoyin marisai is focusing on the kavana that one should have, that one would give up their life if ever put to the ultimate test. But when you say, Hu asanu v'lo anachnu, He made us and we belong to Him, that's a reference to the fact that Hashem created us with 248 limbs, and this is also an essential kavan in Shema, that Shema has 248 words, keneged the 248 Evar of Shaladam. Says the Mechaber, B'Kriya Shema yesh ramach tevois, u'kedei lahashlam ramach keneged Evar of Shaladam, Mesayim shel tzibor, Hashem Elokeichem emes. The shel tzibor ends off Hashem Elokeichem emes, the Choyzer v'omer b'koram Hashem Elokeichem emes. That's how Sfardim do it. The Shel Tzibur says Hashem Elokeichem emes, Hashem Elokeichem emes. Haga uvazak kol adam yotzei. And with the Chazan saying it, everyone is yotzei the Ramach words. Hoil v'shomin mipiv shel Shel Tzibur shalosh tevos elu. Since they hear from the Shel Tzibur these three words. V'im hayachid roitze gam ken la'amram im Shel Tzibur. If let's say a Yachid wants to say with the Tzibur, Hashem Elokeichem emes, they're allowed to. Ein Isser b'davar, there's no Isser. Now, what if somebody's davening b'chidos? Could you, when you finished davening, say Hashem Elokeichem emes? In other words, say Ani Hashem Elokeichem emes, Ani Hashem Elokeichem emes, Hashem Elokeichem emes. That the Ramah doesn't say. It sounds like you could say it with the tzibur, but you can't say it on your own. Let's see Mishna Berura Siv Katan Hey, Siv Katan Vav, Lahashlam Ramach. Now, this is sourced in the Zohar. Okay, this is very interesting. This din of the Mechaber, that there are 248 words, 248 limbs, and one says 248 words in Shema, there is no source in, this is not found in Shas. This is sourced in the Zohar. The Mishna Berura says, Kedisa b'medrash hanelam. Medrash hanelam is a Zohar. Pasach Rabbi Yehuda v'amar, Rifus tihi l'sharecha. It is a remedy for your navel. V'shikoi la'atzmaisecha. And an elixir for your bones. HaTorah hi refuah laguf. The Torah is a remedy for one's body. V'la'atzamais, and one's bones. V'ayil mazeh v'ayil haba. By the way, if you remember, a few of you were on at the end of a shiur one day when I threw out my theory that the mitzvah of Kriya Shema is a mitzvah of Talmud Torah. Do you remember this? The mitzvah of Kriya Shema is a mitzvah of Talmud Torah. There are two mitzvahs. There's a mitzvah of Yigisa B'Yom V'Layla, and then there's a mitzvah like concentrated Talmud Torah twice a day. This Zohar supports it, because the Zohar is going on Shema, and the Zohar is saying Torah is refuah for your guf. B'Olam Hazeh V'Olam Haba. The Amar Rab Nehorai Amar Rab Nechemia B'Kriya Shema Ramach Teva is Kiminyan Evar of Sha'adam V'Hakari Kriya Shema Kitzikunai Kol Evar Ve'Evar Noitel Teva Achas Misrape Boy. Each and every Evar takes a word and is Misrape. V'da Rifus Hila Sharecha. So again, this implies that Kriya Shema is Talmud Torah. The Zohar is saying Torah heals you. Well, where do you see? Because Kriya Shema has 248 Evar. Anyway, I v'alev Kriya Shema ein sham ela Rama Tevos, only 245. My takante. So what's the remedy? Tiknu shei shliat tzibur choizer shalosh Tevos. They're masakin the shel tzibur repeats 3 words. Uman ninhu Hashem Elokechem emes. Kedei lahashlam Ramach Tevos alakal. V'kol ha'omer Kriya Shema shaloi imat tzibur einoi mashlam evarav. Anyone who davens v'yechidus, his limbs are missing. Mimnei shechasu shalosh tevos sheshel tzibur choizer. Question: what if you're davening with the tzibur, but you're lagging behind? What if you're still saying Shema? What do you do then? Do you need to stop and listen to Hashem Elokechem emes? Look in the Dirshu, note 6. The Shari Tshuva writes in the name of the Seder Hayom, be silent in the middle of Kriya Shema and listen to Hashem Elokechem emes, and then finish Kriya Shema, and it works. Okay, now I want to show you a continuation of the Mishna Berura, and we're going to come back to something. So what should a guy who's davening b'yichidus do? Mai takante. You say 15 vavs. Hello, by the way, you'll see clearly that Kel Melech Naaman is not the takana of choice. Kel Melech Naaman is not the eitzah of choice. If I'm not mistaken, Rav Moshe would not say Kel Melech Naaman, period. Period, if I'm not mistaken. Not b'tzibur, not b'yichidos. It's not the eitzah of choice to get 248. What do you do if you daven b'yichidos? Have in mind there are 15 vavs in emes v'yatziv v'nachem v'kayim v'yashem v'neman v'yav v'chavev. 15 vavs. Vav. 15 vavs. Vav times 15 is 90. Yeah? 90 is 3 havayas. Yud Kei Vav Kei is 26, plus the 4 letters is 30. So you got this? 15 vavs is 90. 90 is 3 shem havayos. How? Havaya is 26 plus the 4 letter. So that's a way of getting another 3 words. Yechavin betezvav vavin de emes v'yatziv. By the way, the Shari Tshuva says that if you're lagging behind the chazan, and it's better to stop and hear Hashem Elokechem emes than to have in mind to be yotzei with the v'yatziv v'nachem v'kayim v'yashar. V'yatziv v'nachem v'kayim v'yashar is secondary to Hashem Elokeichem Emes. Okay.
What do you do about Krishna Shalamita?
What do you do? What with the 248?
Yeah.
Who
You're
says?
missing three then.
Who
Who
says you have to say? Who says you got to get 248 in the Kriya Shema Lamita?
What a lot of people do that.
It's a Shemira. It's a Shemira.
Yeah.
Why is it 248? That's why I say 3 paragraphs at night time.
Yeah. It's from
three.
it's from the Arizal. It's not Me'ikar Hadin to say 3 parshiyos. I'm serious. It's not Me'ikar Hadin. Doesn't say in Shulchan Aruch you should say 3 parshiyos. Now it's a good idea if you didn't say the 3 parshiyos in Shul, then you have to say Medairaisa. But it's not a halacha to say the 3. You mean, what did Ramosha do with Kel Melech? Did he say Kel Melech Naman and Kriya Shema Lamita?
Yep.
I can't answer for him.
And we say Kriya Shema early, what do you do in the second time then? By night.
If you say Kriya Shema early, who says the 248 has to be at the time you're Mekayim, the mitzvah of Shema? I don't know. Good ha'ara. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know that... I know in my yeshiva and Rav Moshe, I don't think the Kel Melech Naman was the takana of choice. I don't think it was. I know a lot of people do it. I know, in the Chadarim, the kids say it. But if I'm not mistaken, Rav Moshe was not, that was not his custom. 1 second.
Every siddur in the world has it.
I'm going to tell you 100 other things that you have in the siddur. But, yeah, the siddur, but it also, so then do you say it when you daven with the tzibor? No, you're not allowed to say it. It's usher to say it. It's an isser. But every single siddur in the world has it. What are you going to do, So
1 second, it says in the Mishna Berura by Kriya Shema Lamita,
yeah.
Mishna Berura says, V'toiv loima tamid kol Kriya Shema,
Avada.
V'yiramach nevois, V'tseirov Hail Melech Nema.
That's a toiv. Toiv is not a halacha. Rabbi Yeager, you know that. Toiv is.
I know.
So you want to know what do you do to get the 248? Question: is the Indian of Kriya Shema Lamita dafka the 248? Let's say I don't want to say Kel Melech Naman. Is there no Indian to say Kriya Shema 3 parshiyos?
Or not? It's a shmir for all Ramach Yavara.
That's what. But I'll tell you where it's not. It's not in the Mechaber Rama, right?
No, the Rama's coming in this Siman. He brings Kedah in a second.
1 second.
The Yesha Kosko.
1 second. Before, let's go to Kriya Shema Lamita. Right? Reish Lamed Tes.
Aleph.
Din Kriya Shema Lamita. The toiv loimer ton kokrish shir ramach teves v'tzerev kel melech ne'aman lishmar ramach yivarav. I hear. Look, that's al pi Kabbalah. To say 3 parshas of Shema before you go to sleep. The Gemara in Brachas, in the beginning of Brachas, says that you say the first parsha of Shema and biyad chav keruchi. That's meikar hadin. Okay, let's see how the Rama tells us to get the 248. I remember I once said this and I got a lot of emails, so it's good, it's okay. But right, so far we didn't see anything about Kel Melech Naman. Now raise your hand if you say Kel Melech Naman when you're down with the tzibor. Okay, nobody's admitting it. Good, don't do it again. You're not allowed to say Kel Melech Naman when you're down with the tzibor. By the way, Kel Melech Neman might be that it's like this. You're supposed to answer Amen there, according to the Rama. You're supposed to answer Amen. And if you're davening b'yechidus and you can't answer Amen, so then, okay, it says in the Siddur Kel Melech Neman. We'll see that in the Rama. Now, v'im hukari b'yachid. if you're saying Shema b'yachid, Yechavim b'tesva vavin, Shebemes Yatziv, She'olam Tishim, 15 vavs equal 90, Ve'im keneged shloisha Shemas Havaya, which correspond to the 3 Shemas Havaya, Shekol Shem, Oila Esim V'Sheish, each Shem is 26, Ve'arba Oisyosav Hem Shloishim. Let's continue here tomorrow. There is a Yeshayimrim of Kel Melech Neman. It's an early practice. Well, let's see it tomorrow, okay? Hatzlacha.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.